on PBS. And now we turn to a woman who picks up on this theme of what we can do in our own lives to help the environment. Majora Carter has taken up this challenge in one of the toughest communities to make it work. Carter started an organization called Sustainable South Bronx, which is bringing parks, greenways, and bike paths to her urban waterfront. She's also rallied residents to oppose dumping and air pollution. My colleague Maria Hinjosa visited with Majora Carter on the roof of her headquarters in the South Bronx.
Majora Carter, the screenplay of your life could have been as a granddaughter of a man who was born into slavery, raised in the South Bronx. You go to these elite schools, study fine arts, literature, film. You could have left the South Bronx and you end up back here doing environmental work?
Right. I did leave the South Bronx and came back only after I realized that the things that made me want to leave, the fact that I thought this neighborhood was nothing except ugly and dirty and disgusting, really had much more to do with the regulations that were thrust upon it rather than with the people that were here.
You've said that you feel like your community, the people of the South Bronx, are like the yellow canaries
in the coal mine.
Because
we feel the effects first, but ultimately everybody around them will also be impacted by it. Communities like the South Bronx are the point sources for whether it's diesel emission or power plant emissions. They're the point sources for the greenhouse gases that everybody's trying to curb. You know, we may feel the effects of it right now in terms of our very high asthma rate and our respiratory issues and all that stuff, but ultimately we all pay, you know, in terms of increased global warming, you know, and actually poor air quality everywhere. And that's why all of our work really is helping to support, you know, cleaning up here. But it really is, like, as far as we're concerned, like, we're starting to save the world starting in the South Bronx. If you look right out there,
Majora Carter knows exactly where the dirty air and pollution are coming from. One source, the smokestack of the New York Organic Fertilizer Company.
So this here,
This is putting out what into your community?
dioxins, nitrous oxides, probably some heavy metals. There's a whole bunch of other things that we're really not sure of, but that's what we're trying to find out. But we know that all the things that I mentioned already, particulate matter 2.5 and smaller, those are the kind of things that actually lodge deep into people's lungs and actually cause public health impacts, anything from upper respiratory problems and of course asthma.
So in order to confront this problem, you didn't stand out here with placards and protesting. You did something else. What did you do?
We did that too, but the thing I think that got the most attention was actually buying stock in the company, in the parent company of that facility.
And how much stock did you buy?
50 shares.
So that means that with that, you can go into the shareholders' meetings and voice your opinion.
Absolutely. Put out resolutions, you know, make requests, and we did just that.
Different kind of activism.
Completely, but still a form of activism.
And then you've got trucks.
So, yes, plenty of them delivering, you know, goods. Well, some are goods, like the produce market is right down the hill, as well as the meat and fish markets. Or you'll see garbage trucks either dropping off or picking up garbage.
This noise, these heavy trucks in and out.
It's pollution. It is noise pollution.
But here comes another truck.
Yeah. Yeah. Take a deep breath of that.
Of all the places to take on and try to change a neighborhood, you choose the South Bronx, which has for years, for decades, for more than a century been the industrial hub of New York City. Some people say, Majora, you're going to take away jobs perhaps by closing businesses down.
We're not trying to close business down. That's a fallacy that lots of people like to throw on environmental justice activists. Absolutely not. We're trying to build a different kind of job that actually supports the environment, supports the people, and supports your business's bottom line. We're trying to create something called a recycling industrial park that actually takes recycled materials and uses them as raw materials. So there's a collection of businesses that do that. And that would reduce the amount of solid waste in New York City. It could prepare like 300 to 500 jobs, you know, and unfortunately that same site is the same place the city wants to build a 2,000-bed jail. So we believe our shot, you know, at the best alternative to incarceration is actually a decent job. Crazy, I know.
here? What are we
This
seeing
is Barretto Point Park. It's about 5 acres, like literally the greenest place in all of Hunts Point. We're really excited that we have 5 acres of green open space here, but it came because the city kind of wanted to pay us back a little bit for the sewage treatment plant expansion that we're getting. This park was about, I think, $7-8 million. The sewage treatment plant expansion comes at a public expense of like close to $1 billion.
So where we're standing here, we're on a park, but actually we're looking at a sewage treatment plant.
Yes.
Those flames
yes,
there
those flames are actually burning off the excess methane that is produced as a result of the sewage treatment process.
So not necessarily the healthiest place to have a park.
Yeah, I'd say that. Yeah. But, you know, it is a start, and we are happy that we have something here, but no, it's not enough.
So you say that this is not about bringing green to your community just to make it look nice.
Although that helps. Oh, believe me, I like pretty things as much as anybody else does.
So if it's not about making pretty things, it's about what?
But it is about making pretty things because, you know, I do think that your environment will reflect on you. If you're told, you know, from birth that everything in your neighborhood, and that would include you in it, is less valuable than other parts of the city, how's it not going to reflect on you?
And less valuable because you're being dumped on?
Yeah. It's like, you know, that's where all the nasty, dirty things go. And I think the work that we do, you know, here in Sustainable South Bronx is designed specifically, you know, to provide people with an opportunity to see their community and therefore themselves, you know, as powerful, beautiful beings. I mean, I don't think that, you know, too many folks, you know, really consider the environmental justice the civil rights issue that it actually is.
A civil rights issue.
Absolutely. You know, Martin Luther King, just his birthday just passed. You know, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. And, you know, it's not just the South Bronx. You know, it's not just, you know, the Gulf Coast. It's not just, you know, places in Oakland. You know, these places all cities around the world have little South Bronxes. But ultimately, you know, I see people in my own community suffering in ways that they don't need to, and it really I'm sorry.
It's that upsetting.
Yeah, it is upsetting. It is really upsetting.
Because when you see people in your neighborhood suffering, you're talking about
their degraded public health. You know, the fact that, you know, our obesity rate is as high as it is because we don't have, you know, because we don't have access to like decent, affordable produce, even though we've got the world's largest food distribution center here where food is trucked out. I think that is an environmental justice issue. But you can't buy a decent head of lettuce in most of the neighborhood stores. And, you know, and the fact that when we try to build things like green manufacturing jobs, that we're told that, you know, that the sites that would be perfect for it are better used for jails. You know, what are people trying to tell us here?
When you step back, are you optimistic, or do you see a battle every day that's just like, wow, it's going to be a hard one yet again today?
Oh, I see the battle every day, every single day. But I also see that there is so much hope. And like, I don't see hope as like this like very passive thing. It's the fact that, like, you know, we've got, you know, parks in the neighborhood. The fact that we've got, you know, now about $20 million coming in for like greenway, bikeway development. The fact that, you know, we did put it on the table, you know, these green manufacturing jobs. The fact that, you know, it is not over. You know, as far as we're concerned, you know, that jail is not going to be built here. You know, that's what I see, and I think that's why the role that we've been playing here is all about creating, you know, something new for people to see so that it will reflect back on them. And I'm really, really proud to be a part of that.
Majora Carter, Director of Sustainable South Bronx, thanks for speaking with us on Now.
Thank you for having me.